Hello and welcome to the most boring man on YouTube. We're just about to witness the start of the Formula 1 2022 Austrian Grand Prix sprint race. We've got a aborted start straight off because Joe Ganzou had an issue with his engine just right at the end of as all the cars lined up. Alonso had team didn't manage to move his tyre blankets in time, but we're off. Verstappen gets a good start. Charles Leclerc is trying to get up on the inside, but Verstappen far wide, blocking him off, and sort of Sainz seems to take the outside of Charles Leclerc and get up to second place into the first corner. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And Carlos Sainz has got a run up on the outside of Sainz. He goes wide, and that'll let Charles Leclerc run on the inside, but he comes to cut across and block him off. We've got cars running off all around the back, so everywhere. We've got George Russell into fourth. He's main. Verstappen's lead, who just seems to be the two Ferraris. Leclerc's back ahead of Sainz. We've got Russell, then Ocon, and we've got two Haas, and then followed by Perez. It looks like in the background there. I'm not sure where Lewis Hamilton has made it, but I did see a few cars going off in the background there, so it'll be interesting to see where he's end up at the end of the first lap. So it's 23 lap sprint race, 1 lap less because of the extra formation lap, and we'll see how this plays out. So Hamilton is looking like he's fallen back from 9th rather than moving forward, when Perez is 11th place for Lewis Hamilton. Perez is up to 8th, though. Hamilton seems to have a really shocking start. Ahead of him, he's got Alex Albon, who's on the softs. He's the only driver, along with Vettel and Stroll in the softs, and Latifi, so they've all gone for soft. The 2 Aston Martin and 2 Williams drivers gone for soft tyres. Let's see how this plays out. So Leclerc is 1.5 seconds behind Verstappen now into lap 2, so he's broke the DRS, but it is close behind him, so let's see how this race pans out. And so we're on lap 8, just a bit of an update here. We're just seeing Verstappen out in front, 2.8 seconds ahead of Leclerc, who's in second for Ferrari with Carlos Sainz. At the moment, they're just battling each other. It may seem that their battle is letting sort of Verstappen off the hook and keeping that gap rather than both working together in catching the Red Bull. So let's see how that plays out for the long run. George Russell in 4th, comfortable 4th. He's about 3 seconds behind Ferrari's Sainz, but not really making any impression there. But he's got a gap to Ocon, who is behind him for about 3 seconds behind. Following that, we've got Magnussen and Mick Schumacher, both Haas doing really well. The drag reduction system, and because they're all in the DRS train, is helping keep Perez in the Red Bull behind him, who's up into 8th. Hamilton's fought back into 9th now, got past Bottas. He had a poor start, but caught up with the incident of Gasly at the first or second corner. But now we've just seen down on the inside of Perez, just made it onto Mick Schumacher. What a brilliant move that was, late on the brakes. Inch perfect, and just got past Mick Schumacher. I mean, he's in the faster car there, so we expect Perez to move up the grid, but now with Magnussen not going to have any DRS ahead of him, I imagine Perez will get past Magnussen pretty quickly, and then he'll manage to catch up into Ocon, and let's see how far he gets up behind Russell. I think Perez has probably got about 5th place in mind here. I'd expect him to finish there with 13 laps in the race to go. Out of the top 10, we've got Norris and Ricciardo in the McLaren. Ricciardo both pulled up well, actually, because they were quite poor. Ricciardo was 16th in qualifying yesterday. Norris not great in 14th, so they've pulled up well up the grid. We've got Alonso out. Don't know if he just had an issue with the car, he just couldn't get going. He was on the jacks, left with his tyre blankets on, so I don't know if there was car issues. It obviously looks like that because they never started the race even from the pit lane. And And that's where we stand on lap 10 at the moment. We've just seen Perez, actually, like I said, off screen. Perez has got past Magnussen. I could see that happening, to be honest. Haas did well to keep that Red Bull behind him for as long as they did, but without Magnussen having the DRS to keep Perez behind, it was just a matter of time. And I imagine I can see Perez catching up quite quickly now to Ocon, and let's see how that gets on. But you've got Lewis Hamilton now cruising up to the back of Mick Schumacher. He's 8/10, so he'll be part of the Austrian. And we've just seen a yellow flag in sector 2. There's an Aston Martin in the gravel. It's Sebastian Vettel sort of reversing back out of the gravel. He's found reverse, and he's done well. Back on, should make his way back on the track. Strange position where he's gone off there. I can't really tell where that is. He's in about turn 8 or so on the track there. He's on the outside of a William and gets tagged to contact with Alex Albon and off into the gravel. He made a move there. Vettel was clearly ahead. I mean, I imagine Albon should have left him. I'm not really sure what he could have done there, to be honest. Albon, he was tight onto the apex, probably pushed up a bit more. He did seem to leave Vettel. Vettel seemed to think he was ahead, and yeah, I think that's give him some space. I think that's probably a racing incident. I can't really see that being another penalty for Albon. I think that would be harsh. Leclerc with the fastest lap of the race. He's now 2.8 behind Verstappen. Sainz has dropped off Leclerc now, 2.7. So I'm not sure what's gone on there, because they were really quite close behind each other. Hamilton right up there, 4/10 behind Mick Schumacher, who's 0.5% behind Magnussen. Perez is now 3/10 behind Ocon. Oh, he's gone up on the inside. Yes, he's down the inside on Ocon, and he's made the move there. So the Mercedes, I think they've just not got the power in their engine to make these passes. The Ferrari engine and the Honda engine and the Red Bull, or what is now the Red Bull engine, is just the better engine at the moment. So with Haas having the Ferrari in the back of there, I think they'll struggle. So we're on lap 12, 11 to go. Let's see how these tyres hold up. Everybody's on the medium. I think we are seeing the soft tyre drivers now drop back. Albon 13th, Stroll 14th, Latifi and Vettel 18th and 19th. Vettel obviously just got that nudge quite far down now. I don't know if you might rest that engine for the race tomorrow. Is there much point? You know you're going to start 19th now with that one. We're now watching Lewis Hamilton lap 13 trying to cruise over the back of Mick Schumacher. Just not got the power on that one, even with DRS. But I think it's the DRS train that's sort of helping them Haas out here. So I mean, it was Perez lunge that helped him late on the brakes to get past Mick. So let's see if Hamilton can do the same. So update on lap 20. We're finally seeing Hamilton right up on the back of Mick Schumacher, who now doesn't have the DRS. And so this is his chance now on lap 20 to get past Mick Schumacher. But he's still in front of the Mercedes, just doesn't have the power of the Haas. The Ferrari can't make it the inside either. And Bottas is now closed up on the back of Hamilton. He's getting really held up by this battle with the Haas and Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher has defended brilliantly well, to be honest with you. He's now trying to make his way around the outside. He's slightly ahead. He's going to get binned on the outside there, but I'm not going to make it there. Verstappen leads 2.4 ahead of Leclerc. That gap has to stay the same. Sainz in third, 3.2 behind Leclerc. That gap has to stay the same. Russell in fourth position, 6 seconds behind Sainz. That gap has stayed the same. Perez is not really caught up on Mercedes, which has been interesting. He's 5 seconds behind, which is really quite interesting, to be honest with you. Let's see how that. I thought Perez would sort of catch up to the back of Mercedes, but they all seem very close on pace there. Ocon's holding well in 6th place. Magnussen in 7th. He's getting helped by Mick Schumacher, who's holding back the fast charge and Lewis Hamilton there. It'll be interesting to see. But Hamilton now should be able to pick pick off the Haas because Mick Schumacher doesn't have the DRS for Magnussen, but he's blocking really, really well. He's defended brilliantly well, to be honest with you. Now Hamilton seems a lot closer. He's got a good run on him on the inside now. So he should make this pass finally on lap 21. He's got 2 to go. He finally gets past the Haas of Mick Schumacher. But that Ferrari engine in the back of that is brilliant. You can see they're so much faster down the straight. And we've seen that at Silverstone, to be honest with you, when Hamilton passed both the Leclerc and Red Bull, but the Red Bull just seemed to, Perez, and just seemed to close up in the back of him down the straight. Lap 22, 2 laps to go. Hamilton now 1.9 seconds behind Magnussen. Will he have enough time to get up behind that and pass him? His poor start has sort of really seen Hamilton struggle, because I imagined it should be really in about 6th place, following Perez up the field, and it'd be interesting to see Mercedes pace then against the Red Bull of Perez. But looking at Russell, they seem to be matching Sainz and Leclerc but not gaining on them. We have to see how that plays out. But Verstappen is now coming round to start his final lap. Hamilton not really caught up onto the DRS of Magnussen to make any impression there. It looks like it might just finish in the position that we are. So we've got Verstappen first on the final lap, Leclerc second, Sainz third, Russell fourth, Perez fifth, Ocon sixth, Magnussen seventh, Hamilton eighth, Mick Schumacher ninth, Bottas 10th, who's all over the back of Mick Schumacher now, so that'd be interesting. 2 Ferrari engines there. 11th and 12th for Norris and Ricciardo in the McLarens, Albon 13th, Stroll 14th, Zhou 15th, 16th for Gasly, Tsunoda 17th, and Latifi 18th. Of Vettel just come in the pits now. I don't know if he's just got engine issues or what the problem is there. But a lot of what we've seen in this race is the DRS train, which has sort of helped cars down the straight. So we've not seen as many passes as we probably would have expected. So points from first down to 8th. So Verstappen looked like he's going to get maximum points, 8 points. 7 for Leclerc, so he's going to extend his World Championship lead by a point. He comes across the line, and yes, there we go, 1.6 ahead of Leclerc. He just seemed to take it easy on that lap. Sainz in 3rd, so they finished as they started. Russell 4th again, and then Perez has been the star really of this, coming up to 5th from his 13th place position. He must have had a mega start. We've not really seen a restart of that or a replay of that just yet. Ocon in 6th, Magnussen come home in 7th by the looks of it. Hamilton now finally in the DRS, but he's just at the 2nd. I don't think he's going to make any impression on him there. No, so that's his Magnussen come home 7th, Hamilton 8th, Mick Schumacher 9th, 10th for Bottas, 11th for Norris and Ricciardo. So that's good for the 2 McLarens today. They'll start higher up in the race tomorrow. It was only a 23 lap race because of the 1 extra lap of the formation, which is a shame. Because we just started to see a bit of field spread, and I think the faster cars would have been able to pick them off as the DRS train dropped off. But it looks like we've got an interesting race for tomorrow. Verstappen just seemed to just manage to stay ahead, but over the longer stints tomorrow, let's see how the tyres and strategy plays out. It'll be interesting to see, and we'll see you tomorrow for the race. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching with the Most Boring Man on YouTube.